Greetings to all. I am Arjelarin B. Polanco, and I am here to present to you the life and works of Fernando Amorsolo. Who is Fernando Amorsolo? Well, Fernando Amorsolo y Cueto was the first ever to be recognized as a national artist of the Philippines. He was recognized as the grand old man of Philippine art because of his masterful use of light and dark colors and depiction of Philippine sunlight. Fernando Amorsolo was a portraitist and painter of rural Philippine landscapes. He is popularly known for his illuminated landscapes, which often portray traditional Filipino customs, culture, fiestas, and occupations. His pastoral works presented an imagined sense of nationhood in counterpoint to American colonial rule and were important to the formation of Filipino national identity. Fernando Amorsolo was born on May 30, 1892 in Caliheran, Paco, Manila. Although born in nation's capital, at 7 months of his age, his father moved the family to the small town of Daet in Camarines Norte, where Fernando Amorsolo would spend most of his childhood. His love for the simple rural life would become the foundation for his artistic output, for which he is most well known. After his father's death, the family moved back to Manila, where they stayed with one of his uncle, Don Fabian de la Rosa, his mother's cousin who was also a Filipino painter. At the age of 13, Fernando became an apprentice to de la Rosa, who would eventually become his advocate and guide in his painting career. Fernando was the eldest of 5 children. His parents were Pedro Amorsolo and Bonifacia Cueto. They're both talented musicians who encouraged their sons' artistic talents from an early age. Fernando Amorsolo entered the art school of the Liceo de Manila and graduated in 1909. After graduating, he entered the University of the Philippines School of Fine Arts and graduated in 1914. Fernando Amorsolo worked as a draftsman for the Bureau of Public Works, as a chief artist at the Pacific Commercial Company, and as a part-time instructor at the University of the Philippines. He taught at the university for 38 years, including 14 years as the director of the art department. After 3 years as an instructor and commercial artist, Fernando Amorsolo received a grant to attend the Academia de San Fernando in Madrid from businessman Enrique Zobel de Ayala, and was exposed to European modern artists and French realists, impressionists, and post-impressionists. He briefly visited New York City, where he would later hold a solo exhibition in 1925. Fernando Amorsolo set up his own studio upon his return to Manila and painted during the 1920s and 1930s. Fernando Amorsolo received numerous distinctions, including first prize at the New York's World Fair for the afternoon meal of rice workers, UNESCO Gold Medal of Recognition, the Rizal Pro Patria Award from the Far Eastern University, the Araw ng Maynila Award, the Gawad CCP para sa Sinig from the Cultural Center of the Philippines, and many more. Fernando Amorsolo painted and sketched more than 10,000 pieces over his lifetime. The following are some of the most historically and culturally significant masterpieces of Fernando Amorsolo: The Making of Philippine Flag, Antipolo, and Planting Rice. Fernando Amorsolo's wartime paintings were displayed at the Malacañang Presidential Palace in 1948. Within the Vatican City, 3 Amorsolo paintings are displayed. One is hung at the Vatican Radio headquarters, and the 2 are at the Propaganda Fire. The following museums also include works of Amorsolo: the Ayala Museum, the Central Bank of the Philippines, the Lopez Museum, lastly, the National Museum of the Philippines. Fernando Amorsolo painted the making of the Philippine flag as one of his works of art to honor the nation's independence. It is also among the important artworks that are local to the Philippines. History books tells us that the flag was sewed at Marcela Agoncillo's house at 535 Morrison Hill, with help from her daughter Lorenza and Jose Rizal's niece, Lelina Herbosa de Natividad. General Emilio Aguinaldo gave them the duty of sewing the first flag of the newly formed country. This painting captured that moment and made it eternal. It was intentionally created to highlight the significance and vitality of these three women who sewed the first Philippine flag, which was used in Kawit, Cavite during the Independence Declaration. The fiesta, which is yearly celebrated in Antipolo, is portrayed in Fernando Amorsolo's artwork. It illustrates the easygoing and contented lifestyle of the Filipino people in those days. People are focusing on the guy and lady in the center who appear to be dancing. The artwork shows how simply Filipinos celebrate significant occasions like fiesta, but they are shown happy about it. Planting rice was the result of Filipino artists transcribing the academic realist style to become legible to American colonial officials eager to showcase peaceful industry in the countryside after the Philippine-American War. Planting rice would also play an important role in crafting of an incipient narrative meant to produce Filipino nationalist affiliation with the scenery and life of lowland agrarian society rather than with urban lifestyles engendered by industrialization. After being confined at St. Luke's Hospital in Quezon City for about 2 months, Amorsolo died of heart failure at the age of 79 on April 24, 1972. His children founded an art foundation in his honor in 2003 to ensure his legacy, style, vision, and dedication to the promotion of Philippine national heritage survive for decades to come. His grave marker in Marikina City reads, "Dedicated to a husband and father who led a life of simplicity and beauty and left a wealth of virtues." Fernando Amorsolo's use of chiaroscuro, an Italian term meaning light-dark, that involves the interplay of light and dark, became his artistic trademark as well as his greatest contribution to Philippine painting. The legacy of Filipino artist Fernando Amorsolo is an invaluable one, and his paintings remain a treasured representation of our shared cultural heritage.